Meeting called to order. I, Samantha Spalding, President, call this work session to order under the Open Public Meetings Act. It is 6:03. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Runnemede Board of Education calls to be posted at the Borough Hall, Runnemede Post Office, Maryville School, Alliance Bangor School, and Grace Downing School, and advertise in the retrospect a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Roll call, board members.
Patricia Adair.
Here.
Angel Beebe.
Here.
Charles Buckheim.
Here.
Naomi is absent. Maria Panzarella is absent. Patricia Smith.
Here.
Samantha Spalding.
Here.
Lynn Cirillo. John Lork.
Here.
We have 6 present, 3 absent.
All right, at this time, number 3 is the New Jersey School Boards Association compilation of board self-evaluations sent via email.
Right.
To review the accomplishments.
Yeah, were you able to open up and take a look at the board self-evaluation? I brought it a few
Yeah.
copies just in case you weren't able to.
I don't have it with me though, could
Okay,
you?
sure.
I read it.
Did you want to show?
Okay.
I didn't bring a copy with me. We're sharing this for reducing.
Do I have another one behind you?
Ah,
I couldn't, print today,
Is there one more? We can share.
Yeah.
We can share. I'll pass one. Mark and I can share. All right, so this was just this self-evaluation that we had to complete online. And you'll see that there was many different areas that we had to evaluate ourselves: planning, policy, student achievement, finance, board operation, board performance, board superintendent relationship, board staff relationships, and board in the community. With that being said, if you go through, you'll see that I think the board was most satisfied with the planning aspect. The board is a planning body focusing on the district mission and goals. Everybody gave a very important or vital. And so we were 4.0 there. It looks like the lowest area, for me just to skip down, was the board effectively represents and communicates with the public involving the community and district planning. We only gave ourselves a 3.3 there. And then you can go through and read the comments if you didn't get a chance to do that.
Right, Terry kind of made a point of that was one area that for parent involvement and communication, so it might be something that you might want to address in the board goals or
Okay.
discussion or
Right.
when you do that usually at the end of the year.
I always think that the most effective way to look at this is the end, because that's actual comments that other board members made. So that's the last 2 pages if you want to look at them. This is what all the board members said, like highest priority approved, what are 3 other challenges? So this would be a good tool to keep aside for when we meet again in August,
Right,
when we create our goals.
exactly.
Yeah, I think this is a good springboard, I agree.
Right.
The only thing I was thinking of, and I don't know, you guys might have done this in the past, and the former district where I was, they did that, and it might help with parent involvement and communication, is when you do your students of the month, have them come here. And that also gives a positive, so the kids come.
I do feel like this Board of Education is lacking in student recognition. I agree with that. We have so many wonderful things going on, and so many of our students do. And it doesn't even have to be school related, you know, maybe they did something fantastic in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or something notable. I think that we should take this time to, it takes 5 minutes in the beginning and we can dismiss them
Right.
afterwards. For example, I know that the town just had the youth mayor and council, and we had some of our students represent our town, but we don't even know who they are. So it would be a good time to, it's a piece of paper, it would take 5 minutes to just recognize them, so I agree 100%.
I agree.
Another way of recognizing our kids and also getting parent involved, we talked about this probably 9-10 months ago, at least, to talk Walter, about initiating a Renaissance program. And it's gone nowhere since our discussion 10 months ago.
Well, I think through all that process too, we were hiring a new superintendent, and that was part of the process. In hiring that new superintendent was one of the things we were looking for. What programs could a superintendent bring into this district, and that was one of them.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
every district that's.
that
had a
being
Renaissance
said,
program is
yeah,
already
I
done.
mean, there's been a lot happening through
Right,
the course
right.
of these few months, so.
But it definitely is something that we could think about in the next month, to possibly get a position and get a program and and think of a stipend, because that's a lot of work, so it would be a stipend position for someone.
Be like an advisor.
Yeah, an advisor, yeah.
We used
So
to,
that-
I remember with first coming, we always had students, because I remember you were introducing them, student of the month.
We don't always have them, we didn't always have them, but I think that there's so many, there's, you know, we have, you know, 800, 900 something students, I'm sure we can find at least one or two to recognize every month for something. you
I
know.
thought we were doing that, I didn't realize, so.
Well, you know, at the elementary level, they always have an artist of the month.
Yeah,
There's always students of the month as
Yes.
well, the elementary level
Don't you
too.
do it? Like one per grade, or you could do it.
oh yeah, we always have one per grade, it comes home in the newsletter.
Mhm.
So maybe we could invite those students and their families here just to be recognized
Right.
by the board. Maybe we can, so that can happen in September. Any other concerns, issues with the board self-evaluation? I think we all reviewed this previously.
I know we're talking the new observation tool, I was just jotting down notes. How many staff members do we have, I guess, in an administrative position that will now be able to evaluate?
Well, we'll have both principals here in this
Mhm.
building. The supervisor of child special services will also have that ability.
Right.
The curriculum supervisor will also have that ability, and then the principal of Lincoln County School as well.
There will be 6 total, I believe,
One, maybe.
because it would be principal of Bingham and Downing, principal of Volz, superintendent, director of curriculum, vice principal, and the supervisor of special education. So when we made our plan, we made sure that we were going from, 4 to 6
Exactly.
next year.
And now, another question, Mrs. Connor, I know her role within the district is different than an administrator, I get that, but does she hold a supervisory certificate? Could that be checked into, just to see?
I don't want to misspeak, but I believe she does.
Well, I'm just saying, there's another person, there's another warm body in our district that.
There might be an issue with that because she's the teacher union.
Yeah.
So that might-
Oh, I see, okay.
That might be an issue.
Okay, well, that, I mean, it's another avenue to explore anyway, that if, you know, she's, I don't know how that works. How do you walk that fence?
Don't think you can cross that.
That's what I'm saying, so that would have to be a decision that would be made either between you and her part. But if that's another evaluator to ease the workload of what's being required by the state, I think it's something worth looking into anyway. Who knows? Maybe she's interested in a supervisory job versus a teaching job. So it's another avenue to explore, that's how I'm looking at
And
it.
we are looking into it, you know, shuffling, we're doing it for all 3 buildings. Some of her job responsibilities might change as far as classroom,
Okay.
contact time with students, it's
Okay.
going to increase, so. And I don't think since she's in the teacher union, she's not allowed to.
Right, I get that,
So
but
we'd have to then create
A new job.
a new job description for her, and then
all right,
invite her as part of the unit for.
for the administrative team, exactly, so that's what I guess that's what I'm saying. Is there a way to explore that, to see, it's giving you another evaluator in the district?
I guess I would follow up that question with, do you think that having 6 will be enough?
I think it will be. We don't have children who have non-tenured staff.
Right.
It requires many observations, and minutes wise required keeps dropping. You don't have to do a full 45-minute or 40-minute observation. Some of the observations are just going to be 2 20-minute walkthroughs. So that might change.
For tenured staff?
For basically for everyone.
For everyone,
I'll have
oh.
a breakdown, I'll have a breakdown for you later on.
Okay,
But it's not as gruesome as they originally were making it out to be.
okay. But I'm just wondering if, just to even approach Mrs. Collins, ask her, you know, would you be willing? You hold this supervisory certificate, would you be willing to?
But that would mean that we would have to hire someone
I
to teach her
understand. I
stuff
get-
and
well,
create that position.
Well, we're hiring all the
How
time,
could
what's the
this-
difference?
I mean, if it's something we have to do, then we would investigate it. but,
Exactly,
you know.
I just think it's worth a shot looking into it anyway, to ease up from your perspective, what's coming down the road for you.
And to add to what you're saying,
I think that's enough.
a concern that I have as a past administrator is reducing the amount of time you're in a classroom evaluating, going to 20 minutes, especially with non-tenured, before they're tenured. Administrators, I believe, need to spend as much time as they can in the classroom. That's the only way you get to see the strengths and weaknesses of your staff, and someone that you want to grant tenure to and someone you don't want to. So, if it's not too costly, and this person has a supervisor, maybe that is the right thing. If not, I hope that the 6 people under the guidance of our superintendent are going to be in those classes a lot more than what is just required. Otherwise, you're not going to really get to understand the depth of knowledge that your teachers have and how well they teach, how well the kids are going to learn.
I don't think that 20 minutes, I just said 20 minutes is the minimum requirement, but I'm sure, positive is we'll let the observation. Again, we're just restarting earlier than we have in the past. It's not we waiting until, the fall, and so we started in September. And it's a lot of, again, you're on this committee with us, the contact time you're having before the observation, during the observation, creating that interaction, and that now the teacher's required to add a lot to that observation, and you're having your observation, and then your post-op.
Yes. And that's another thing too. I'm sure our principals and the vice principal we have are not going to do something that I experienced in the district when I was a teacher, and that is they come in and evaluate you, and you get a call a week later, come down and sign your observation. You need to sit down and talk. Let's talk. Let's have a dialogue about what you saw me doing in the classroom. What did you think I was doing well? Where do you think I need some help? You need that dialogue too after the observation.
Any other, anything else with the board self-evaluation? No?
I think one of the areas Terry said that you might have had some questions on was understanding some of the financial information.
Oh, I
So
saw
if
that on
there's-
the back,
Yeah, so if there's anything that you want me to try to explain better for you, let me know and I'll see if I can provide you with some of that information, just to get a better understanding of your role in trying to understand the finances and the budget and all that.
I think that everyone here, and maybe if you didn't know, Patty, I'll say it. I mean, if you ever have a question, I know that some of this is overwhelming, and now that you're in, for half of a year and you still might question, I mean, I'm here almost 8 years and I still question. I mean, Joanne always has an open door, Mark has an open door. Do you have a few minutes, give them a buzz, set up an appointment, and just come ask questions, because that's the only way you're gonna learn.
Right, absolutely.
That's the only way you're gonna learn, and if you can, take advantage of the time down in Atlantic City. There's so many informative, if you could get off work, it's
I
so
know.
informative. It's so informative that you learn. There's so many things to learn about you, it's like, it's intense, but that's another way I really learn.
Yeah,
So.
I plan on going.
Good. Hi,
Hi.
We are going over, we're just about done checking out the board self-evaluation. Angel has a copy of it if you want to take a look at it. It was just self-explanatory, just let us all know what we scored and comments that we made, if any. And we were going to move on to the, just starting to look at the agenda.
And just one quick other
Sure.
comment too. Petitions are due June 4th for board members.
Who's up?
Oh, for people running.
Yes.
Gotcha.
The 3 seats that are up. Naomi and John will be expiring. So, the website, there's a link on our website to get the petition, and I actually did print some out, and I think I forgot to take them off of the copy machine, but I'd be happy to go and grab them.
When did it be?
June 4th at the, yeah, at the.
Naomi, John, and Marie.
Yeah.
Is that when everyone's are due, or just the current board members? Is that?
Anyone that wants to run, because the petitions have to be into the county office. Remember, it's not taken care of by us anymore.
Right.
So you have to go to the county office Board of Elections, and by June 4th at 4 p.m., and then the names get on the November election, is when the election actually is.
So June 4th is the cutoff for everyone.
We have to have it in Camden, not here.
I have to do what?
You have to bring it to Camden, it's not, it's different. Don't worry, I'll drive it.
I'm bringing anything.
That's fine. You know we work together.
The form's not
I'm busy.
complicated.
I'm busy till June 4th and beyond.
All right, so there was a few, I'm just gonna go through the agenda. There was a revised agenda put in front of us. So there's a financial report as nothing really new. Secretary's report. It says negotiations work in attendance at negotiation committee meetings. What is that about?
Oh, I just added that, because I forgot to put it on there, on the
Okay.
original
Okay,
agenda.
of what you've been doing. as
Yes,
part- Okay,
yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
off my report. It's just the highlights off of that separate report.
Okay, okay.
Before you go, I just have a question. I have one that says preview agenda, and one that says agenda. That, the agenda is the one we should be looking at.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
And I just asked under, Roman numeral 4, under secretary's report, what I was. That's just something that Joanne, added to her report, that she's been going to, we're helping with negotiations and going to negotiation committee meetings. Principals report.
I don't know where, Sam, where are you questioning I? I don't even know where you
Yeah, I don't
are.
know.
It's on the
It's
agenda.
on the one that says preview agenda, not agenda.
No, it's on agenda, I'm on agenda. Meeting
I'm
call
on
to order,
agenda,
pledge,
too.
roll, approval of minutes. It's on page 3, under secretary's report.
Even I found it.
I is bold.
Okay, got it.
I
Got
never
it.
saw that
Okay.
before, so
Okay.
I just wanted to know what that was.
All right.
I'm
Sorry.
still on page 2.
Sorry, I
thought you meant-
apologize.
Never mind, I thought you meant room numeral 4.
I meant 9.
I'm with you, hopeful.
That's why we were looking.
I have
Posted
petitions
before, too.
here if anyone wants to grab them.
Mine was in there.
Okay. Principals' reports are attached, if there was any questions. Principals' reports,
Well,
nurses' reports.
I don't know, I'm trying to think of where that was. As far, there was somewhere, I think it was the principal's report, as far as moisture behind the mats in Downey's gym. I don't know where, let's see.
Yeah, they were still having a leak problem or something.
That would be
They've had
Marie's.
that leak problem since I taught there.
Okay.
That's been ongoing when the Department of Health was brought in to evaluate Downey School and their air quality and all that. That was mentioned to them. They simply turned a blind eye and went the other way. But it's been there a long time. And
Not that much.
there's mold spores like crazy back there.
That problem has been solved.
Oh, terrific, thank you. How did you finally,
Temporarily.
how-
We
what
want
did,
to make it permanent this summer.
what did you finally decide to
there
have to
was-
do?
Where the rain was draining by, it found its way, trailed down through, right along the wall, and was going in through one of the, I didn't get down that far, we just found where it was weak.
Okay,
So we filled it, and it has stopped. We've had several rains and it has not come through. So this summer, we're going to put a cold patch over it and make it a permanent thing.
okay, thank you.
There you go, you see that?
Nice. Thanks, Budge.
No problem.
It was great.
I just wanted to congratulate you on graduation as
Yes.
well while we're here.
Yes.
I did read your personal note there, Bob. Thank you for sending us. That was
Going.
I hope you learned a lot.
I'm still absorbing it.
I'm sure, I'm sure.
Well, that's good, you never stop learning, so that's a good
Yeah.
attitude to take, right?
The old brain's not what it used to be.
Yeah. Any other issues with the principals or nurses or building and ground report?
Thank you for the parking lot work.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Chad, you're lucky I didn't have your cell phone number in my phone, because I
Why,
pulled
what?
up the day it was done, and I was gonna take pictures and text them to
Send
you.
them.
I pulled up and
I knew you wanted my cell phone number.
I wanted your cell phone number.
Now, I didn't even, look, are there arrows on the
Oh, yeah.
laptop too?
No.
Yeah, the arrows have been on
They've
the
been
blacktop,
there.
but
They've been
now
there.
when
Yeah,
you
no,
pull into the
people
parking
don't.
Oh,
lot.
no, you can't miss it,
It's right in
wow,
your face.
wow.
Oh, yeah.
There's gonna be some people
do
that
not
will.
enter sign, one blue
No,
sign.
they will miss, they will still miss it, so.
Yeah, well.
But at least
They
you're
missed the
making
two
that
big
effort,
ones
thank
on,
you. Thank you very much.
Elm Avenue, they ain't gonna see your little school parking lot signs, trust me. Just saying.
All right, so under property and transportation then, I have a question about number 5. I don't know what that is.
Okay, what that is, in our project to do the, kitchen renovation, one of the things that Downing is, in their area, there's no place for the Board of Health to say that they can actually wash anything, and that's why we always had to have the prepared meals that would just come in and go right out to the kids. By now being able to split off, and Butch was actually more involved in the design and going with the architect to see where we can do this, we can actually section off a small part of the boiler room over at Downing and put a sink in there, so that now they can actually do some of the prep that can be done at maybe a school and, on a much smaller scale, but at least now it doesn't have to come over already ready to be put on them. They can actually use a sink. Do you wanna add to
It
that?
could be, it's basically the same way that Bingham and we do here, but they'll be able to comparatively for bulk instead of individual wrapped meals.
Okay.
And they'll have the proper heating facilities and cleaning facilities instead of where they are now, going across the steps, going down the steps. This puts everything in one central area.
And
So you
hopefully
can get
less
through
of-
it
yeah.
through the door in the gymnasium that says boiler room, you'll be able to just get to it right
Yeah,
there.
those doors are gonna remain, we may change the style of them, but those doors are gonna remain, and then they're gonna be a separate door going into the remainder of the boiler room.
Okay.
And there'll still be plenty of room to move the tables in and out, we measured all that, and got it all set up the right way.
Is there any concerns about the electrical panels that were in that one corner?
The electrical panels are not gonna come into play, plus Downing is gonna be getting upgraded anyway since the air conditioning going into summer, so there'll be plenty of.
So where's this prep area going to, as soon as you go in the doors?
As soon as you walk through the
doors.
double doors
Right,
down off of the gym.
Right,
Imagine them not being there, okay, just
Right.
walk in, to your right, there'll be a little kitchenette, just like.
okay, but that's, I know
So
initially.
It's gonna go up to 6 inches from the panel.
Oh, okay, because that was the big concern before, they couldn't do it because of the electrical panels. So it's, oh, good, I'm glad you figured it out, terrific, that's terrific.
Good. Any other questions under property and transportation?
Yeah, I just wanted I noticed the ROIA sponsoring field hockey camp,
Yes.
yes?
Yes.
Can you give me a little bit more of what's?
We're just working with, everything that, Ms. Prey has been doing.
Okay, is she going to spearhead this?
Yes, she is.
Okay, that's great,
Mhm.
that is wonderful.
And I told her to watch out, because if it means that, somehow we have field hockey, we will do that. It could help us and add a new sport.
Well, I can tell you that one of our neighboring towns had it, but
Yes.
it was really big, like when my daughter was little, and it's kind of floundering a little bit. And as a high school coach, they torment me, and so many people are want to get, like Belmar has no feeder program.
Right,
Runnemede, we have just the middle school.
right,
You know what I mean? Gloucester Township, they have really just the middle school now because they more went to competitive teams.
right.
So they are looking for feeder programs, so I do think you will be able to field some teams.
I do too. There's a lot of girls that
That's
just
great.
don't, participate. So we'll see what happens. Have to start somewhere with everything.
Absolutely, I think it's wonderful.
Anything else?
It was not my idea. I will not take credit for it, but I am more than willing to make it happen. and so
Well,
when I
whose
say it's
idea?
collaborated, it was Ms. Price.
Ms. Pratt, okay.
Yes, so again, this is a
Just-
collaborated effort.
Okay, that's great, and that's another point of praise
Yes.
right there.
Yeah.
Is that, a staff member in the district is trying to,
Absolutely.
make a
Absolutely.
program, an existing program we have here even better.
Right.
So that's
Oh,
great.
absolutely.
That's great.
I can actually say that Ms. Prey did a lot of things, off-season to, better the program, so that's.
And based on the board meeting we had a couple months ago, you see the parents
Yeah,
are all,
the
you know,
parents are
very
all-
supportive of
Right,
that, so.
I did attend the one function where they had the big fundraiser,
Yes.
and it was fabulous, so.
That's great.
Okay, personnel. There was two, I believe two. Oh, yep, there's we're up to number 12 now, so if you wanna take a minute to look at that,
I have a question.
okay?
It's in reference to the supervisor curriculum. Go back to when we were doing the interviews for superintendent, and one of the things that came out in our discussion was, if we somehow can find the money, we need a curriculum supervisor, which we're moving in that direction. And we felt how critical that is in the foundation of our education, especially in the early years. K, first grade, second grade, third grade. When I look at the gentleman who was being recommended, his experience with curriculum, and I just need clarification, I only see 1 year of experience. Grades 5 through 8. So if I get some clarification
Dr.
on
Karen is joining us, he's right
Good
here.
evening, how are you? I'm Sean Carroll, nice to meet you.
I'm Charlie Buckman. I'd like to find out your
Absolutely.
depth of curriculum work.
As a teacher, I was responsible for curriculum and worked on curriculum in grades 5 through 8. That was my main focus. As a school administrator, currently I'm in a pre-K through 8 district. Therefore, for the past 2 years, what we've done is we've redone the entire curriculum, because we actually just had QSAC come in when I first started, and the curriculum was not where it needed to be. We received a 38% prior to myself and the other administrator coming in. We redid the curriculum with staff in grades pre-K through 8, worked with staff members to build the guided reading program and other necessary programs that were identified. So I do have experience pre-K through 8 in working with
All right, when
curriculum.
you said we were building it, what specifically did you do to develop curriculum?
One of the things that we did is we worked as a team, we looked at the
Now,
common.
what did you do?
What did I do?
Not the team, what did you do?
Sure. As an individual, I collectively brought a team together. I provided them with information regarding the Common Core standards to really update the curriculum to where it needed to be and to make sure that it was current. In addition to that, I also worked with surrounding districts, because we are a sending district, and worked with our sending high school to make sure that the curriculum at the upper grade level, 7th and 8th, matched up with what we were sending our students to, and making sure that we were really setting our students up for success when they went to high school. Building an Algebra 1 program for our students. We just had over 22 students today take the English Honors exam, which the high school came in to give our students, and then those students will be able to then hopefully skip over that one course and move on to the next course available to them at the hye school. At the lower grade level, we were working with Success for All as a preschool program and in kindergarten. We love it as a preschool program, but we realized in terms of identifying the needs of the kindergarten program, that students weren't really prepared for first grade. So what we had to do then was actually look at what standards, and what we've been using is a model curriculum through the Department of Education. And by looking at the model curriculum, which offers and identifies the needs in grades K all the way up, and it offers assessments and benchmarks. What I then did was we implemented a different curriculum, which is now going to be implemented beginning next year, but pulling all the needs that we had to see what needed to be identified for our first grade students moving up.
All right, you've got new curriculum that you've helped develop.
Yes,
What did you do to work with the teachers to understand the curriculum? What steps did you take?
sure. Well, a big step was professional development. Something that we incorporated in grades 1st through 8 was guided reading. For myself personally, one of the things that I believe in is the fact that I can talk great talk, but I need to be able to show people what I'm expecting also, and the fact that I have no problem modeling for staff members through professional development, through going into classrooms, what's needed in the classroom, and actually identifying those needs and offering support where it's needed.
Okay.
We also offer professional development because you can't really teach if you don't have classroom management. Therefore, a big component was classroom management, making sure that teachers and staff felt empowered and had the capacity to handle issues in their classroom so they can address the curriculum that had to be met.
Okay, and again, the reason why I raised this was when I read your resume, it only listed you as having 1 year of curriculum experience on that resume.
I'm gonna, can I just step in?
Sure.
here?
Yeah.
And I appreciate Dr. McCarron for speaking.
Sure,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Dr. McCarron was our top choice for this position. Of all the people we interviewed close to 15 people, I believe. And the talent pool, he rose above that, just with his knowledge and his eagerness to learn. He does have a master's degree in curriculum instruction,
I
which
saw
is,
that.
none of our other candidates had that.
Mhm.
Speaking for myself and my master's program that I did, that was only 1 or 2 classes that we had as part of our program. He has a master's specifically in that. He's got a bag of tricks and a toolkit that is, surpassed every other candidate that we have. His eagerness to want to come here and grow with this district is something that also put him above the other candidates.
He also is going to do, some of the other things.
Yeah, I think I tackled on some of those things that
Yeah.
one, he will be our,
HIV.
some of our HIV stuff, we'll do our New Jersey Smart Data Entry, which we did have a couple switches last year, we had that stuff entered, that cost us some points, with QSAC and some other things. We will oversee, all the implementation of our new curriculum, we still have to add this summer. And the PD piece is another large part, we're not gonna have to send people out, we'll be able to, work with our younger staff and our older staff to implement some of the things. So we're looking forward to having him and grow as part of the district, and, I'm confident that he will do us all proud, and, he's willing to do whatever it takes to do the best job he can, so.
Again, I just needed some clarification.
Absolutely.
Because reading your resume, I see 1 year of curriculum experience, and that concerned me, but it sounds good. Okay,
Good question.
luck.
Good question, Chaz. Good question.
Any other questions? Well, there's quite a bit there.
Personnel, I noticed somewhere we're supposed to have an attached list of staff, employment of
Yeah, we
support
took-
staff.
We took the support staff off depending on we're gonna have them approved in June.
Oh, okay.
Due to there's no agreement right now with the teachers' unions, and we usually
Gotcha,
work
okay.
on them after they settle,
All right.
what their is going to be. So that will be on the June 26th, support staff, with the maintenance staff and everyone else as well.
Now, for number 7 under personnel, this is our current position?
Yes,
Is
one
it
of-
going
one-
back to
I'm just,
full-time?
I was just gonna, yes, and
One of the-
I would like, go ahead, I would like you to explain that.
One of the things when I became principal of this building, and we went through a budget cut, the governor put us through that, and one of the options was they made the music teacher the K-5 part-time position, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Well, that impacted this school in particular because it took away the opportunity for 4th and 5th. Now, the music teacher had to teach 4th and 5th grade, and that's 8 periods a week, 8 times 45, and you can do that. So it took away times for lessons. So now basically her lesson times are 20 to 25 minutes with some students in 4th and 5th grade. It used to be 45 minutes. And we were losing kids. If you come to some of our concerts, now I think Ms. Monge's done a phenomenal job building that, and she's only been here for a little over a year. We want to sustain that. And the only way she's going to sustain that is to work with these kids on a more regular basis. So by making this position back to full-time, it'll give us that teacher to be able to teach the 4th and 5th grade music class and free Ms. Maggi up for lessons.
Okay, so this position's back to a K-5 position, you're saying?
That's back to a K-5 position.
Any questions about that?
No, I'm ecstatic.
She's very excited.
There's been so much that has fallen by the wayside in special areas that this is a light for me, and the curriculum coordinator's position as well. I'm seeing things going back the other way.
Moving forward.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Moving in the
absolutely,
right direction.
absolutely. So I'm very, very pleased.
So 8 and 9 were just the summer enrichment programs that we always had.
Yes.
There's nothing new there.
We will be adding possibly 1 or 2 more people there at the June meeting for one of the ESY programs as well. And substitutes as well, people who were not selected. Every year, you like We had a lot of interest this year for the ESY program.
Okay, now ESY acronym for that
Extended
is?
Extended school year.
Extended
to be
school
a
year,
child-
okay.
in a child's IEP.
Mhm.
The interest was there, but you have to fit the needs of the students with the talent of the staff. So some people you might have seen in the last couple of years are selected. You know, but we have to do what's best for the kids. We just can't just reach out to the staff members who might have done it for 35 years. Somebody who's really struggling in a group of literacy instruction or whatever, we've identified staff members who we sunk a little more effort in this year with PD to work with those kids to improve their literacy.
Now, what's PSD for this first? Oh, that's
That's preschool disabled.
Disabled, okay. Never mind, when I saw the staff, I realized. Thank you. Now you need a dictionary.
Special education is the worst, so I will,
Now, how many students right now are on the docket for this?
I do not know off the top of my head, but I will definitely know that information.
Okay,
along.
thanks.
It can range anywhere from preschool, almost like basically a regular classroom, like you see one a year for the most part, and then, you know, sometimes the way the scouts are set up. Yeah. Yeah, I would say it's close to.
Okay, so ballpark's right around 40.
Yeah.
That's great.
Can you explain 10, 11, and 12 to me, please?
Okay. 10, 11, we're actually back on April 24th agenda, but then we changed that. So, and then in the meantime, with the special agendas, we never put it back on there. The only job description that we had in the past was called custodian, maintenance technician. And what I wanted to do here is more gear it towards the duties that individuals are doing. And I recommended changing the custodian maintenance technician to custodian general maintenance. And if you didn't keep those, because the attachments for that were on that April 24th.
I remember reading that.
Okay, yeah, so I made up a few extra copies just in case. So the job description for the maintenance technician now will show you how some of the performances and the qualifications have to do with their ability to perform more maintenance areas, the HVAC work, as far as repairs of different equipment, more than just general maintenance and custodial type jobs. So it kind of delineates between the two.
Is there any change in salary or just a change in job title?
At this time, there's no change in salary.
Any other questions? Finance?
Oh, now I have a question.
Go ahead.
This is Mr. William Powers, is to a maintenance technician now,
Yes,
change his job title.
yes.
Okay, and where is he, where is he? Is he
He's in
here?
this, well, he's in this building, but he goes to all three buildings.
His home building is here, his home
and-
site's
and
here.
Which can,
He's the one that replaced George when George retired.
Okay,
But it's just more to list what he does.
Right.
Now he's actually, under what his heading would be, a maintenance technician.
okay. Thanks.
Finance? There was one added, number 8. I have a question about that.
okay.
Do we need these contracts if are we approving a contract for the whole year? So we're assuming that we're not gonna be self-sufficient next year at all? And did we look at other places for this?
With the fact that we are doing this project and we want to get this underway, however, with all the things that are going on, there's no way that I could guarantee that we would be up and running and ready by September.
Okay.
With all the different paperwork that's needed. So in order to make sure that we weren't without any kind of program, I wanted to get a contract, and there is a 60-day written notice to
Okay.
terminate by either party.
60
So,
days.
Right,
Okay.
and I should be able to, depending on how the project's moving along, I should be able to judge, in good
Yep.
enough time when that 60 days would be, so I can give notice.
Okay.
No date determined?
No.
We got paid?
Any other questions there? The next area is curriculum. There was one added. Was just Ms. Carpiac-Malloy's summer art camp that she has every year.
The calendar you received in the mail, that's the template that I was given. We'll make that prettier, to go back to the public as well as.
This what you're talking?
That calendar right there.
Yeah, like January.
Thank Mrs. Wilson for spending about 3 days
Hello.
manipulating cells
Yes.
and everything else on there. So that's not really going out to the public. I just wanted to get this out to you. And we also have to get it from the county by June 6th before that. So it'll look a lot prettier and nicer when it goes out to the public. I just
This was
wanted to
pretty
get-
much, there was only one day.
Yeah. Well,
The highlighted copy that every board member received, there was only one day difference, correct?
The
Can
one
you
day,
explain
yeah,
that?
sure, the one day was originally, the last couple of years, we've been given the first 2 days when the kids come back after Labor Day, teachers for staff development. We made that one day, so the teachers would come back on Tuesday, and the kids would come in for a half day on that Wednesday, because one of the things that Dr. McCann and the rest of the administration, we're working on developing these student growth outcomes for next year, and we have to have them done in November, and instead of starting the teachers with everything on those first 2 days, we'll take a day, we'll do some stuff on that Tuesday, and then we're gonna use Columbus Day also as one of those days to work on those objectives and goals for the staff, and as well as the election day in November, PD dedicated strictly to those things, because we have to have them submitted by November 15th of the following year. So that's why we tweaked that a little bit, and removed some half days that we didn't feel were necessary, as well as some other days that we kind of tweaked. And I also like to have that day at the end of this, when the kids leave in June, for the teachers to come back the following day is a good day, not only for PD, but to do any kind of house cleaning or paperwork wise. And the parent gets that report card, and then they're calling me up at 3 o'clock on the day, and the teachers are gone for the summer, I don't have answers for them. So it's an opportunity for the staff.
My only comment to make, and this is something that you can just kind of observe and see,
Sure.
from an elementary point of view, one session day for the elementary children is very, very hard. They're not ready for full day when they come in only after one, but, you observe and see what you think. It's only because they're trying to get used to, especially little ones, new teacher, new schedule. Now they need to go downstairs for lunchtime, in and out, and it's hard. It's very, very hard to try to get them acclimated in a half day, what they're expected to do the first full day of school the next day. So, but you let me know how you think it works once it's rolling, okay?
Any other questions under curriculum?
Yeah, I have one here. Under homebound instruction, one reason given was non-medical, but the other one, there was no reason given for this continuation or duration.
Hold on 1 second.
It's right here.
What number item?
It is curriculum item number 2.
Sue, that is for the student who, for medical reasons, is unable to attend school.
So it is medical,
This-
okay.
This is, we've had this now
This is just
on the last couple of
continuing.
agenda, He has
Well, I
not,
just couldn't remember. I looked
not been
back.
cleared yet by
Okay.
the doctor to
Okay.
resume full day
Gotcha.
activity.
I couldn't find it in my old records.
Did you say another question on the other one as well, or no?
No, I think that was it. Under curriculum, anyway.
Policies and public relations. There's a resolution to amend NJSB AIG bylaws. I need to read that out loud.
Would you like to?
No, I just mean during the public meeting. Do I need to read that out loud? Whenever I see whereas, I feel like I have to read it.
Never read it.
All right, I'll read it.
And we'll check off either does or doesn't.
Okay, all right, that's no problem.
And that's really their housekeeping for New Jersey School Boards Association Insurance Group. And in the summary information that they provided, you'll see it's a lot of language changes and wording changes. And what they require is that at least 3/4 of the member districts approve the resolution in order for it to pass. And they have to do it within 180 days.
And what kind of premium, do we pay, I'm assuming we pay premium to this association insurance group every year? Is that how that works?
Currently, we have our liability insurance and all, that whole package is through them.
Okay, and what is our premium through that, through the year?
I'd have to get that for you, because each package, or the whole package has the general liability, the E&O, the auto insurance for our vehicles, everything's all lumped together, so I can break it out and I can get you that.
Okay, that's fine, thanks. Shoot me an email.
So, do I have to do, I have another question. Annual board approvals and appointments, it's A to Z. Do we have to do them one at a time? Yeah, because it says on a motion, I don't have to read them all though.
No,
I just have to do them one at a time. All right. So these look to be the same that our agenda that was delivered to us?
I'm pretty sure they are.
Nothing's added there.
Joanne, can you just explain R to us? I think it's R, well, it may not be R now, sometimes it shifted in and out of here. Let's see.
The QPA,
Yes,
qualified purchasing agent?
yes.
Okay, that has to do with your quote and bid thresholds.
Mhm.
If you have the qualified purchasing agent certificate, your thresholds are higher than someone who does not.
Right, and that's really all this is saying.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's one of those annual motions, just like just about every one of these are, that you have to do because we're at the end of the fiscal year and we're still
Right.
operating on the fiscal year.
All right, thanks.
So do you have that?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute, there is another one. I'm not sure it's the same one on the, yeah, Garrison Architects,
Okay.
for their fee schedule outlined in their proposal. Did we as a board receive a proposal from them, or did that just
That
come
was
in
part of the
office?
RFQ, so,
Okay.
and that came in on May 2nd.
Okay. So what is their fee scheduled for the year?
It varies by the architect, but, again,
Okay.
I have it in the board office.
Okay,
if you
just-
want-
Shoot me an email. Okay, thanks.
But she did know it came in May 2nd.
Okay.
Oh, that was my deadline on all.
Oh, okay.
I made it all the same date, so I didn't have to remember.
All right.
That's the vendor
Smart.
we use for our record keeping. And then,
So this is just the normal rehab connection, school
Yes.
specialty
For
ed
the
data.
professional services.
Yeah, Phil. Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna adjourn this meeting so we can use the restroom
I
and
do
be back
have,
for
I do
7
have a
o'clock.
couple questions,
Okay.
a couple concerns that came up, to me, either me personally witnessing things or people talking to me. Number one is the dismissal route for Bingham School students. Those preschool kids are going through a parking lot to leave the building. We discussed this before.
This was an issue last year.
It was an issue, and it was supposed to be looked into, it was supposed to be changed, and it never was.
Well, it was changed. Let's go back because
Okay.
my son was in preschool, so I know it was changed. Well, at least when I was there, it was
Well,
changed.
guess what?
It's not changed anymore. The teachers were told by Marie Gallagher that they were not to pull in and out of the parking lot.
Right.
Because some of them leave for lunch and break, if you guys will recall this.
Yes.
During,
Right.
during either that time where the morning was leaving or, the afternoon was coming in.
Right.
So is that changed?
No. Well, yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, the teachers were told they couldn't go there, but it was not only teaching staff, there were also parents standing in this way
Right.
of students entering and exiting. My biggest question is, why can't these children be dismissed out the front door?
Because we had major problems.
With the bus.
We had, it was
No,
that,
why
yeah.
the bus?
I was there when it happened. It was a conversation that took place with the police department and, us, the school board.
Okay.
Because it was actually more of a hazard what was going on the streets on Orchard. The idea there was actually so that the bus never turns down Orchard. The discussion was,
Doesn't
Mr.
have
John.
to turn down Orchard. If they
Yes, it
stay.
would.
If they come out
No,
the front.
No. If they stay on First, if the bus stays on First, parks at that corner, those children can be walked out that front door,
Oh,
down
well.
that sidewalk to the bus.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That bus
because,
not turning onto Orchard Ave, I will tell you,
All right, well, then
alleviated
that's-
numerous problems.
Sure, I don't think
Yeah.
that's.
but hold on, I investigated further last
Okay.
year. And you have to remember that this is a preschool disabled classroom, okay? So
Oh, they have to
the
come down the
teachers
steps.
felt, what they do is they go up that ramp and they're dismissed right there. The teachers felt that that was safer and more, conducive to their disorders and going up a flight of steps, out the front door, down the steps, out to the curb, down to the corner, and around to the
So there's
bus.
children in that class that are physically disabled?
There's children in that class that have an array of disabilities.
That are physically disabled?
Well, they're not in
That
a
would be-
wheelchair,
Okay.
but they're 4-year-olds with,
Yeah, but
on-
it's not only staff traffic in and out of that parking lot, it's also parents.
there's
that
not a
I've
spot
never seen
available
a
for a
parent.
parent.
There was, I'm just telling you, this is, this, and this did not come from a staff member, this came from another parent to me.
Well, no, it's an issue,
Okay?
it's an
It's
issue.
a huge issue.
But if you go to the teacher, and the teachers and the aides felt that it was that issue, and then once it was dealt with, going up the ramp, because you gotta remember, yeah, they're not steady on their feet, there's a whole different, they may not be physically in a wheelchair, but there's definitely a lot of disabilities that they felt, as the experts, as the preschool disabled, they felt that that was far more appropriate, I should say, is the legal word that should be, than the other route. So, I mean, you can look into it again, but I, as a special ed teacher, would have to agree. I mean, I would go the quickest route with my special education high school students, because some of them still are not steady on their feet.
Well, then maybe the route needs to be,
Teachers need to have to lead. but
no,
not
the
have
route
to
needs to be set up so it's safer for the children to exit. If they're going that way, then they need to come out the door, and those parking spaces that are sitting here need to be taken away.
Well, that's fine, because they have another lot.
And that's okay. And those kids need to come down that way.
I get
So
it.
they're not, they were cutting across the parking lot.
And if you recall, we put in another swipe
Right.
closer to the other
Exactly.
side, so maybe we can take a couple of them away, and they can have to park over there.
There's something that,
That's easy.
Yeah, I
That's easier, in my opinion,
Then walk.
than having them children walk, especially in the winter and things, that is,
whatever,
yeah.
And this way, that bus still doesn't have to go.
Yeah.
Right,
'cause
and
that
then
day
the
of
bus
the
issue.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
That
yeah.
never turned that
Do you
corner.
remember that?
It was ridiculous.
He would have 30 cones all
Yep.
down Orchard Avenue.
I remember that.
Mr. John needed no cars to park across the street
Yep.
so that he could turn. It was a mess.
Yeah, it was a mess.
I remember that.
Now, one more issue, and this I see personally, when I go to pick up my grandson in school every day. There are children who come from old school,
Yes, I
fourth
agree.
and fifth graders, who get out here at 2:15. They are at that school by 2:40.
Oh,
Wow.
I dealt with this at Bingham, and they're
And they're
screaming
playing
and carrying
screaming
on.
and carrying on, disturbing the educational process of our kids down in the
Yeah.
middle school. They're also wrecking havoc, they're running up and down the steps,
Yeah.
those huge steps
Oh,
are down
actually,
there.
3 years ago.
They're jumping off the side walls from those steps.
Yep.
I mean, I know Mr. I's been there numerous times, and it calms down for a couple days, and like every time I go to pick up my grandson,
I agree.
they see me coming, they know who I am now.
Oh, they used to run when they
just-
saw
no,
me
they
pull
don't
up.
run, they don't
They
run,
just
they
sit
just stand
right
there very
there.
quietly,
Because they were
disperse,
not
and I'll
following.
say them.
It's
You know,
even a problem on the
siblings.
blacktop too,
Mhm.
because they're running and playing tag and loud and laughing and having fun. And I get it, but they're still learning. And then with the windows.
Now, is there any way that the schedules can be condensed between the schools, that there's not that much time
I don't know.
between?
I don't know if it would be so much time between, and I can look into that. I think that we have some flexibility, we'll recreate the schedule next year for bringing it down and have supervision out there from
Okay.
2:40
That would be a good
quarter
idea.
up to 3
But
o'clock.
I mean, those kids are out there
But
for
here,
40
and
minutes.
here's one of the things I was gonna say when you're talking about band, I think we need to look at the dismissal at all 3 schools.
Mhm.
I don't really allow parents on the property here at Bolton, the principals, I feel comfortable with that, not knowing who's coming and going, I always have to have those interactions with people. When I go to the 2 elementary schools, they shouldn't be on the property at all. They shouldn't be standing underneath a tree in the shade, they should be on the sidewalk waiting for their child. They should not be anywhere on school, it's basically trespassing, they're there at 2:30, 2:40, because I'm the parents, man. It's just unsafe, because we don't know who's
Who's
coming
who.
and going, so all those things are gonna be looked at, it's not gonna go over well with the parents who are used to, when a kid takes his last walk down off the step, grab a hug, but it's a security and a safety issue. But
Right.
one of the things I know for next year, looking is making it a teacher's responsibility, 1 or 2 people to be on duty to make sure those things are happening, and maybe some signs.
Yes,
Go there.
yeah, that was another suggestion, put a sign on those steps that they cannot.
Like, there's no, you're not allowed on school property
Right.
during school hours.
Right.
Again, it might not go over as well in the community, but I think again, with the reason why you're doing something, they can't argue with school safety.
With that being said, I'll also add that teachers should be dismissing at 3 o'clock, not 2:52.
Yeah, that was another question, why is there a difference in the schedule for Bingham and Dale?
5 minutes different in case you had
So if you
both.
have a child at both.
In case you had both, it was 3 o'clock at Bingham, 3:05 at Downing. And when I
When they
happened,
don't start, they
They
start at
start
the same
different
time.
times. Yeah, they start
35 and 30.
No,
Or
according
35 and
to,
40.
according to the website, they start at the same time. So
It was
check the
supposed
website.
to be 5.
No, it should be-
Supposed to
So
be
you
5
see-
and
well,
It should be
you see
8:30
correct.
and then 8:35.
8:30 and
It was
8:35.
staggered because of what the preschool.
I know it was originally,
Yeah,
but the website
yeah.
doesn't say that, so
Okay.
you just need to check that. And what time do doors open to buildings?
What's that?
What time do the doors open in?
I believe 8:15, which is another issue I have with
Okay.
maximizing.
But again, if Downing is going 5 minutes later, should their doors open 5 minutes later?
8:20.
Okay, so that's, again, okay.
All things that we're gonna work on this
I
summer.
know,
Again,
I know. I just wanna eat your ear and that's
oh,
all.
that's fine with me. We'll talk about it, make some changes.
Okay, thanks.
So I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Lynn, seconded by Patty. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned. Meeting called to order, it's okay, the Runnemede Board of Education meeting is called to order. The Board of Education is in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 entitled the Open Public Meetings Act. The time, date, and location of this meeting was appropriately advertised by notifying the retrospect, as well as posted notices in Federal Hall, Runnemede Post Office, Maryvold School, Aligned Bingham School, Grace Downing School, and the Runnemede Public School District website. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, board members.
Patricia
Here.
Charles Buckheim,
Present.
Maria Panzarella. Samantha Spalding.
Here.
John Ward. Angel Levy.
Here.
Manuel Davidson, absent. Patricia Smith. Here. Lynn Terrell.
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Also present, Mark Iannucci, Superintendent and Acting Principal, Runnemede School District, Joanne Augustine, Business Administrator, I don't see, Marie Janet Viola, Child Study Team Coordinator, and Butch Gruner. I forgot you. See, you graduate school and they take your name off this list.
It's all over.
Glasses.
Yeah. At this time, I need approval of minutes for the April 24th regular and executive and the April 29th special meeting.
I take that motion.
Motion made by Chaz,
I'll second.
seconded by Patty. Any questions? Roll call.
Patricia Adair.
Yes.
Angel Levy.
Abstain from 1 and 2, and yes for number 3.
Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
I need to abstain from 1, 2,
From all 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Financial report, period ending to April 2013. There's nothing that needs to be done there, correct? I see that roll call and I get confused every month.
Oh, it should still be approved.
It still should be
Yeah.
approved. Okay, so I need a motion to approve the financial report.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report.
Motion made by Patty, seconded by Patty. Any questions? Roll call.
Patricia Adair.
Yes.
Angel Levy.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Ward.
Yes.
Motion carries.
There are no presentations this evening. There is also no correspondence at this time. However, I did want to say publicly in the public meeting that petitions for school board members are due June 4th, and our board secretary has them if anybody's interested in taking them. At this time, we're open for public comment on agenda items only. Does Does anybody have any public comment on agenda items at this time? Yeah? Okay, we have all reviewed the secretary's report, and we also reviewed it in the work session, so I don't believe Ms. Augustine has anything to add, so, superintendent's report.
Just a couple of things, district enrollment as of April 25th, you saw there was 869 students, 12 out of district, and currently 857 students in district. And there was one incident of HIV reported in the month, and investigation was not confirmed to be HIV. Also later on this evening, we're recommending the two candidates we have for approval this evening, one for our supervisor of special services, as well as our supervisor of curriculum instruction. For each position, we probably did about 10 interviews for the CST position, we did about 15 for the supervisor of curriculum instruction position. Don't hold me to those numbers, I'm just roughly, we've interviewed a lot of people over the last couple of weeks, and we've had a lot of applicants for all the jobs we've had. These two candidates were by far head and shoulders above the competition. We are very excited to have them. This is really exciting for us, putting what you guys are doing again, just building, having the opportunity to build a team from scratch, and surround yourself with the best people. I think, you're gonna see it's not gonna happen overnight. There's gonna be growing pains, there's gonna be trials and tribulations, but I think down, in the long run, which isn't that far away, I think we surrounded ourselves with some great people, so we're, happily recommending these two candidates for the positions tonight. Also mentioned in there, thank everybody involved in New Jersey Ask testing, which basically takes up the entire month of late April into May. One of the things I did put in the report, we'd like to look into next year, possibly looking for a waiver you can get from the state of combining some of those weeks. Specifically in this building, we have 3 separate weeks for testing. We could possibly maybe combine 4th and 5th grade, as well as 6th, 7th, and 8th grade to test. We would only do 2 weeks instead of 3 plus the makeups. That would help us out a lot. What it does in this building specifically, it takes one of our guidance counselors away from kids for close to a month. They're not able to work with those kids. And they really, this isn't for one time a year. So we're going to be looking into that, so I will keep you posted. Also, we invite you to come to any upcoming events we have. Graduation dance will be held on June 17th. Doors open around 6 p.m. for parents to take a look at the wonderful job the PTA does decorating the all-purpose room. We also have the graduation ceremony at Triton at 6:30 on the 18th. So a lot of events going on there. 6:30 on the 18th. We always love to have board members there. If you'd like to hand out diplomas or help out with wherever.
I'll be there, but I can hand
Help out with anything. If you're helping out, we will put you to work. Please.
When's the dance?
The 17th.
17th.
Yes. So they have a busy. Hopefully they'll be really tired by the 19th. Those 8th grade kids. Field trips are wrapping up. I want to thank the PTA for their participation getting field trips back the last couple of years. The kids really enjoyed themselves. We had one come up, their 6th grade group is going to Wheaton Village on Friday, so they're going to enjoy the glass blowing in 95-degree weather. But it should be fun.
Priceless.
It should be good. I think we have the 4th grade going to River Sharks, the baseball education, which is always a fun trip. And then our 8th grade goes to Great Adventure, which is coming up on June 6th. I don't know if there's any, I think all the trips are wrapped up at both the elementary schools.
First grade is tomorrow.
First grade's tomorrow?
Yes.
Where are they going?
Casey's.
Oh, good. At least there's a lot of shade there.
Yeah.
Yes, good. So we appreciate everybody doing that. And, we're moving on from there. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you. The principal's report, nurses report, and building and ground reports we reviewed during our work session. Does anyone have any additional questions at this time? And special education report, sorry. it was on
No,
the back.
I do want to make a comment though. I read Mrs. Feldman's report and just giggled and laughed about the fact that she put out there that goal for those children to raise $1,800 for jump rope for the heart, and they raised over $2,000. And now she's going to get slime. I think it's, and Mrs. Cunningham is going to join her.
Yes. They were very excited about that, I can tell you, at the they were extremely excited. Anything from the PTA?
We're
we're wrapping up our years, Mr. Irish, you said, getting ready for dance graduation. June 7th is our family bingo night, which is here.
All grades?
All grades, flyer went out today, I believe. We asked everybody to kind of give us a heads up with your comments and give an idea. We did put in for both rooms, but we were hoping smaller crowd and we're all up here and last thing, get it done over with and everybody has a good time. There, I know it's a lot of work for maintenance to have to set up that other room and all. So it just depends on the numbers that come in and how we'll do with that. As you know, the basketball was a success. Help pay for the trips now. We're just getting our list out to the teachers of what supplies they would like this year. We've slowly been providing like clipboards and some scissors and things that they can keep year to year. And then on top of that, the crowns and some paper and the binders that they can down and use and some different things. So we're trying to get that list earlier so we can get that taken care of. Our teacher luncheon was fantastic. All the moms did some salads and things, and so we're really had a great year. We have new officers coming in, Krista Moore as president, April Berger vice president. I'm not sure on the other ones because who really wants to do that? We're not sure sometimes. Well, it's given a lot of times up with their family, so that's what becomes difficult, to try and get them to say that you work as a team. You're not all giving all the time up with your families. Different ones are giving up different times. So they're working that out amongst them, and the moms are great. It's a new group of moms, that have started to come all the time and help out. So that's what's really good. And I said to Krista, I think that myself stepping back is, they're her moms. They know her, and they're going to jump in for her and do more so than I think I'm here, and they know me, but when Krista cries for help, they're going to jump in because there's a cry for help some nights when there's 1 or 2 people running a whole function. So that's what we're looking forward to, and I think it's going to be great. So good year next year with all the new administration, all the new teachers. It's going to be a fun year for everybody.
And how much money did you put on your basket auction?
15,000. We were down 82 people from last year though, and we made 14,000 last year. Like a little more than that, but I'm rounding it to the closest. So if we can next year try and see what's going on around town, maybe get some people to adjust some things that's happening, those parents can come and be more. There's never a person there that doesn't want to be there.
I did.
We had a lot of people, a lot of our staff here had other things planned. So to be down 82 people and still make $1,000 more, if they get those 82 people, they'll hit 20,000 with not even a blink of an eye. Because that's what their goal is, to kind of be ahead, to be able to provide a little more. I mean, the trips, the teachers are picking anything they want. Like this year, 7th grade was a science center, so that was a big cost. It was a big, for all that. So we don't want to say to them, well, you got to be careful what you're picking, because many of you might not believe a lot of these children have not been to museums and have not. A lot of us take our kids or our families, but there is a large majority of children that have not been to these places. Everybody goes to Cape May, who wants to go there? The kids, there's kids that have not been there. I mean, our town is not where everybody's doing everything all the time, and this time, it's tough for people to go to a museum. And to go to the Liberty Science Center, those kids were in awe. Those 7th graders enjoyed every minute of it and got so much out of it. So it was a great thing, and that's what we hope for them to be able to pick and choose what they want to pick.
Thank you.
Thank you very
County.
much for that.
Yeah, thank you for your years of service. Were you the PTA president when I was little?
Change the subject. Did you pay for my field trip? Did you have money for my field trip?
You too, Mrs. Marker. Thank you.
Yeah, she's
It
been
does
around a
not-
long time too.
It does not go unnoticed, that's for sure. Camden County Educational Services Commission probably hasn't had much, no progress. New Jersey School Board Association report.
I was just up there, about, it'll be 2 weeks this Saturday, and one resolution was tabled for more, discussion with that particular school district, and that was the resolution that they wanted school districts now to supervise and overlook homebound instruction. So that is on hold. The other ones all were approved in the way that our board supported them, so it was very positive. And next meeting will be in the fall of November. I'll be there.
Thank you. Black Horse Pike, well, I can say that I'm proud to announce that, a Runnemede girl has been selected as the new principal of Triton High School. Mrs. Melissa Shepherd is her name, she was Melissa Everin, back in the day when we knew her here, so, it's very exciting for us. She's my supervisor now, and we'll miss her in that capacity, but she's wonderful, and we're just proud to have an alum and a Runnemede girl come back and represent us, and she'll be fabulous. And she told me yesterday she's retiring from that position, that she wants to go nowhere else. So I'm very excited, and she is very excited as well to come in and start a relationship with, the surrounding schools. So that's exciting, and there's also a lot of change like there is in this district. There's a lot of change in our district as well with new positions, but do you have anything else to add there? Looking forward to the future like we are here.
It's the same type of thing, once, like now her job's opening, we had a supervisor, a VP leave, Triton, who's now gonna be a supervisor, so as they're hiring, there's more openings, so it's a big, big change for them, because they have a new superintendent, and they readjusted their administration at the top, so all that changed, and they hired from within, because I think just like this school, you get people that love it, they're dedicated, they stick with it, and the school board supports hiring from within, because we feel the people there are doing the job and deserve to move up, and, they do a good job for us.
Very exciting. Negotiations, can you give me an update?
Going pretty well.
That's what I like
For
to
the
hear.
board, anyway. No, I think we're making some progress, and we're hoping to have things pretty much nailed down by the next month.
All right, awesome, that's great.
When is the next meeting?
We're still kind of waiting for some more information for us, for the board to prepare a proposal to give to the teachers.
Thanks.
How's it going on your end?
It's been a very amicable.
Yeah,
Good.
very-
See that?
That's
Nice.
good to hear.
Good to hear.
Well, this board has a history of that. Not always, but,
Well,
for the most part, a history of
Yeah,
good
there's only been one
negotiations.
time we haven't had it by the end of the year,
Exactly, so
so.
that's good. Let's get her done.
All right, you know what we forgot? To discuss with the board, possibly, not having a meeting, we would have to do that in public. Possibly not having a meeting, other districts do not have a meeting in July.
That's true.
Oh, we have June to do that, yeah, except I won't be here in June.
Oh.
Okay. But so whatever, you guys can decide, that's fine. I'll be here if we have a meeting in July, or I won't be if we don't have one. Okay, that should be it for old business, new business. We both forgot. Property and transportation, I need a motion to approve items number 1 through 5.
I make,
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Lynn,
I'll second that.
seconded by Angel. Any questions? Roll call.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe? Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
sorry, I have to abstain.
Tricia Smith?
Yes.
Samantha Spalding?
Yes.
Lynn Terrell?
Yes.
John Ward?
yes.
Motion carries.
Under personnel, I need a motion to approve items number 1 through 12.
I'll make a motion to approve items 1 through 12.
Motion made by Patty,
Second.
seconded by John. Any questions? Roll call.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe?
Yes.
Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
Yes.
Patricia Smith?
Yes.
Samantha Spalding?
Yes.
Lynn Terrell?
Yes.
And John Ward?
Yes.
Motion carries.
At this time, I would publicly like to thank Mr. Bob Richards for his many, many years of service here at Maryville School and wish him the best with his retirement. And
Yes. We'd also like to have the 2 candidates who were just approved for the recent positions. We're going to introduce Mrs. Lori Hines as the new supervisor of special services.
How are you, Charlie Bucket? Congratulations. Good luck.
I can't believe you made her come on walk around.
You notice I didn't have her speak.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
She spoke a couple months ago.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Congratulations.
Also, Dr. Sean McCarron, who was just just approved for supervisor curriculum instruction.
Hey, how are you doing?
Congrats.
Welcome.
I'm
Quiet one.
Oh, yeah, she's really quiet. And I'm happy to report that, I accidentally bumped into Dr. McCarron on his first time here, and we had to cancel his interview during our bomb scare, so I'm glad you decided to come back. And welcome.
I thought it was a sign.
It was a sign, maybe it wasn't, Thank you. I'm glad we got you to come back
First
after
step, you didn't run away, that was good.
I couldn't do that.
Absolutely.
Turned out to be good.
Wow.
That's what
You know.
I mean, like, somebody come back, what?
There's a what? What? Okay,
Under finance, I need a motion to approve items number 1 through 8.
I make that motion.
Motion made by Chaz, seconded by Maria. Any questions? Roll call.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe? Yes. Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
Yes.
Patricia Smith?
Yes.
Samantha Spalding?
Yes.
Lynn Terrell?
Yes.
John Moore?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Under curriculum, I need a motion to approve items number 1 through 5.
I make a motion to approve items 1 through 5.
Motion made by Maria, seconded by Patty. Any questions? Roll call.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe?
Yes.
Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
Yes.
Patricia Smith?
Yes.
Samantha Spalding?
Yes.
Lynn Terrell?
Yes.
John Moore?
Yes.
Motion carries.
I need a motion to approve the resolution to amend NJSBAIG bylaws.
Make the motion.
Motion made by John,
I'll second it.
seconded by Lynn. Whereas the New Jersey School Boards Association Insurance Group Board of Trustees approved proposed amendments to its bylaws at a public meeting on March 20, 2013 in accordance with Article 9 of the current NJSBAIG bylaws, and whereas the current NJSBAIG bylaws require for the proposed amendments to be approved by member school districts, and whereas 75% or 3/4 of the member school districts must approve the proposed amendments within 180 days of the hearing on the amendments. Now therefore be it resolved that at a regular meeting of the Runnemede Board of Education held on the 29th day of May, 2013, the board does hereby approve the proposed amendments to the NJSBAIG bylaws. Roll call.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe?
Yes.
Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
Yes.
Patricia Smith?
Yes.
Samantha Spalding?
Yes.
Lynn Terrell?
Yes.
John Moore?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Annual board approvals and appointments. You ready, Joanne?
Yeah.
All right. I need a motion for A.
I make a motion for A.
Motion made by Patty,
Second.
seconded by Chaz. DNC Bank. Roll call.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe?
Yes.
Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
Yes.
Patricia Smith?
Yes.
Samantha Spalding?
Yes.
Lynn Terrell?
Yes.
John Moore?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a motion to approve B.
I make a motion to approve it.
Motion made by Maria, seconded by John. Roll call.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe?
Yes.
Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
Yes.
Patricia Smith?
This is a
Yes.
long one.
Samantha Spalding?
Yes.
Lynn Terrell?
Yes.
And John Moore?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a motion to approve
Make a motion.
C. Motion made by John,
Yes.
seconded by Lynn. Roll call.
She did it.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe? Yes. Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
Yes.
Patricia Smith?
Yes.
Samantha Spalding?
Yes.
Lynn Terrell?
Yes.
John Moore?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a motion for D.
Make a motion.
Motion made by John,
Second.
seconded by Patty. Roll call.
Patricia Adair?
Yes.
Angel Beebe?
Yes.
Charles Buckheim?
Yes.
Maria Panzarella?
Yes.
Patricia Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a motion for eight.
I make a motion.
Motion by Maria, seconded by John. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe. Yes. Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Say it.
Gotta get something.
Maria Panzarella.
That's
The German.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a motion, I know, for F.
I take a motion.
Motion by Patty, seconded by Patty. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Yeah.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a motion for G.
Motion.
Motion made by John,
Jobs.
seconded by Chaz. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion for H.
I make a motion.
Maria,
Second.
seconded by John. Roll call.
We also
Patricia
yes.
Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
I guess.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith. Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a motion for I.
I make a motion.
Motion made by Patty,
Second.
seconded by John. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
You insist.
Maria Panzarella.
That's a yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Need a motion for J.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Patty, seconded by Chaz. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Mm-hmm.
Maria Panzarella. Patricia Smith.
Yes.
I'm gonna run out of
Samantha
synonyms.
Yes.
You were the class clown. I get that already.
Yes.
Spalding. John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for K.
I made that motion.
Motion made by Lynn,
Second.
seconded by John. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Yep.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion made, I need a motion for L, excuse me.
Motion.
Motion made by John.
Second.
Seconded by Patty. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yep.
Motion carries.
Motion for M.
Motion.
Motion made by John, seconded by Lynn. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Okay.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim. Charles.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion for N.
And I make a motion.
Maria,
Yeah.
Second.
seconded by John. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for O.
Motion.
Motion made by John,
second.
seconded by Lynn. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe. Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for P.
Motion.
Motion made by John, seconded by Patty. Roll call.
Patty Dare.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Sorry.
Patty Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
And John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for Q.
Motion.
Motion made by Chaz, seconded by John. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for R.
Yes.
Motion made by Patty and seconded by Patty. Roll call.
Patricia Dare.
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Buckheim.
No.
Maria
Yes.
Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for S.
Motion.
Motion made by John,
That's it.
seconded by Patty. Roll call.
That's okay.
Patricia Adair,
Yes.
Angel Beebe, Charles Whitehide.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for T,
Motion?
motion made by John,
Second.
seconded by Maria, roll call.
Patricia Adair,
Yes.
Angel Beebe,
Yes.
Charles Whitehide,
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for you,
Me.
motion by Chaz, seconded by John, roll call.
Patricia Adair,
Yes.
Angel Beebe,
Yes.
Charles Whitehide.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for V,
I make a motion.
motion by Maria, seconded by Patty,
Yeah.
roll call.
Patricia Adair,
Yes.
Angel Beebe,
Yes.
Charles Whitehide.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for W,
Motion.
motion made by John,
Then we go to L.
seconded by Patty, roll call.
A.
Patricia Adair,
Yes.
Angel Beebe. Charles Whitehide.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion for
carries.
X,
Yes.
Patty, motion made by Patty, seconded by Chaz,
Thank you.
roll call.
Patricia Adair,
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Whitehide.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for
Second.
Y,
I'll make that motion.
motion made by Lynn,
Second.
seconded by Patty, roll call.
Patricia Adair,
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Whitehide.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion for Z,
Motion.
Second.
motion made by John, seconded by Chaz, roll call.
Patricia Adair,
Yes.
Angel Beebe.
Yes.
Charles Whitehide.
Yes.
Maria Panzarella.
Yes.
Patricia Smith.
Yes.
Samantha Spalding.
Yes.
Lynn Terrell.
Yes.
And John Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, everybody. At this time, we are open for public comment on agenda or non-agenda items at this time. Does anybody have any public comment they'd like to make at this time?
I do.
You do? Mr. Ward?
Today was their graduation for fifth grade.
Nice.
We had kids had a great time. I want to give a shout out, if you will, to Mr. Whipple. Guy does it every year. They have the decathlon out there where kids ride the bikes around. We have a finish line. They all wear numbers. And they were really good this year. They really had a good time. All the fifth grade teachers helped out. And I want to thank the teachers and the board for supporting the DARE program in schools. I think it does a lot.
I think we should thank you as well.
Yeah.
The kids got home and very well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other?
I have a comment. I went to the retirement of all the teachers, and I was definitely impressed. They do a great job, but it was so nice to see the young, the middle, and the old all together. But what a team, a great team. The teachers do a great job. And I think they work together as a
I have
team.
to second that, because I also went. It was a wonderful time. Thank you, girls.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mrs. Marker.
What each year I'm gonna be able to go, I probably won't be on the board anymore, so if you could just send my invitation after the fact. I'm a little too busy, in the pouring rain, we still had games, so, but,
It was a great night. I think that's the biggest turnout that I have been involved with in all my years. So, great job. Great job.
You were a great speaker.
Oh.
And so were you.
It was fun. It was fun to honor. It was fun to honor.
It's very nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes.
Two things. The first is, I'd like to go back to our last board meeting when we found out that one of the items that we had board approved was usage of our facilities by the RYAA. And then they got a notification on an email 4 days prior to when they had to stop using the facilities for a period of time, which I think was maybe around 3 weeks. The reason why I bring it up is I just think that when the board approves something like that, and this goes back to relationships with the community, I think if, and circumstances happen where you have to do that, but I think it would be a wise move to cultivate a good relationship by bringing in representatives, maybe an officer or two from the RYA or any other organization where it might happen. So sit down and just say, look, we have some things we gotta work out at our site, which aren't gonna enable you to use the facility. Let's see what we can do to try and help you with other areas you might be able to go to practice with your teams or whatever during this period of time, rather than to just cut them off and they've got 4 days to either cancel practices and games because they don't have enough time to try to reach out in the community, maybe go to Triton or maybe to one of the surrounding towns and use some of their facilities. And it's not just for the RYA, it would be any organization where we improve these facilities. And things do happen and we have to change and adjust, but I think we need to bring them in and have a discussion with them so that they have a little more time to work out. Or if they've got hundreds of children, maybe 1,000. And now they got to adjust it and communicate with families and make that adjustment really quickly. So I just felt that we could have handled that maybe a little bit better.
We had spoken to Mr. Werner about that issue right after that.
And it happens, but
Yeah, if we do
And
upgrades or whatever.
The other thing is we needed a schedule to it. At the time, we didn't have the schedule. So there was miscommunication, and it's been resolved. We worked together, we
That's
got
good.
resolved. And, you know,
Moving forward, we will look to have those things done if we,
Yeah.
you know.
In terms of the schedule, and I have to speak a little, out of the role of board member now, but the schedule is exactly what we requested, which was Monday through Friday and Saturday. So 3 weeks, you're saying we need a schedule, exactly what we request is the schedule. We are there Monday through Friday and Saturday, from when we requested through when we don't. I mean, there's not one day that we're not there. That schedule, the schedule that we go by is Monday through Friday and Saturday, and that's the schedule. I mean, there's 27 soccer teams utilizing those fields. And there's, 6 and 7 p.m. games. There's 4 fields out there. If you actually go out and look, I know it's one field, but for us it's 4 fields. So, that is the schedule. We, honestly, it's that busy, it's that big.
and emergencies happen, and everyone has to.
We had an emergency.
Yeah,
We had an emergency.
listen, I handle emergencies. I'm all about emergencies.
The other thing I just wanted to bring up
Leave
is
a child, 27 text messages.
attended governance forum, which is the last workshop you have to as a board member, and it basically focused on legal issues. And believe it or not, one of the items that came up in the discussion was a board member from one of the districts said that, is it legal during a board meeting? Because at their board meeting, he said half the time, half the board members aren't focused because everyone has their cell phones on and they're texting and talking during the meeting. And the response from the attorney was, it's not a legality thing, but on a professional basis, that she recommended that once the board goes into general session, it's a courtesy that you turn your cell phones off when we're vibrating, because if people are walking out of the meeting, they're missing important information that we're discussing. So I just want to share that. I don't have a problem with my cell phone being off during a board meeting, because at that time, this is my focus. But I don't have young children. My kids are grown now, and I know people that have younger children. But it's something we may want to think about, at least maybe that they be put on vibrate or that, unless it's a critical emergency, that we not be using them during the board meeting.
And just sorry to be on the tail of everything you say, Jess, but in my case, I am required to leave mine on, just so everyone understands. I have about, I am a single parent, so I do have young children, but more importantly, I represent several hundred, and there are emergencies that do happen. So I apologize for anyone who feels disrespected, but I do excuse myself from run when it rings, and I know it's an emergency, so.
Well, just agree.
Yeah, it vibrates, it shakes the whole table.
Any other public comments at this time? There is no need to go into executive session, so at this time,
I make a motion.
make a motion to adjourn, motion to